Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime Local News. There are 299 new cases of COVID-19 in Saskatchewan and 3 more people have died. 2 of the deaths were in people over 80 in the Northwest Zone, which includes Lloydminster and North Battleford. There are 17 new cases in our zone. 3,146 cases are considered active, with 254 of those in the Northwest. The Northwest 2 subzone, which includes the immediate Lloydminster area, has 1 new case and 43 active cases. 108 people are in hospital, 8 in our zone, including 1 in intensive care. 178 people have recovered. Schools in Alberta next week will be moving online learning for the remainder of the 2020 school year. Connor Chan has reaction to how the Buffalo Trail Public School Division are taking action.
Well, joining us is Rayanne Holian, the superintendent for Buffalo Trail Public Schools. Rayanne, I just want to start with your initial reaction to Alberta Premier Jason Kenney's new plan for schools going into online learning and the extended winter break.
I would say my general thoughts were we were all prepared. We knew going into the 2021 school year that there could be 3 scenarios. So we were in the first scenario with learning at school. So all along, we knew that the opportunity for different blended learning for our students was a possibility. So I feel that our teachers were extremely prepared to hear that message that happened Wednesday, and that they'll be prepared to support our students with at-home learning. And it's not particularly an extended winter break. School is open. That message has come across very clearly from the government and from the Minister of Education, and we're supporting students. So learning will look a little bit different at home this time. One of the things that is happening, students are able to come to school by appointment to get support and help from their teachers. We really want to ensure that going into the final exam period in January, that students are prepared for those courses and for all students. So students can come to school by appointment. Our students with any exceptionality are able to be at school. So it looks a little bit different now than in the spring. And our teachers are working hard right now on what that's going to look like in the next 2 weeks and then after Christmas.
I know you touched on it a bit with the teachers and how they were also expecting these changes. And of course, it's been a change since going back to last school year in particular. So have you heard anything else from them in regards to the fact that now they have to adapt once again to these new learning methods?
I give a lot of credit to our teachers who are working in scenarios where we don't really know what it's going to look like. And we have had teachers who have had to isolate for 14 days for being a close contact and have done a great job with teaching at home and supporting their class while at home. And I think although this is putting some extra work on our teachers in order to prepare on what that looks like, because it does look different when people are at home learning, but they're doing a fantastic job with ensuring our kids get the support they need and ensuring that from the student end that it's not too much, because it's different learning at home than when you're in the building.
Now, is there going to be additional resources offered to students who may be struggling with dealing with not only online learning, but also the fact of being isolated for so long? So is there going to be stuff like counseling available for students if they do need it?
I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because I think every parent and every student who's watching this needs to know that there are mental health supports available. We put that in a lot of our communications out to people, because when you're looking for those supports, you don't want to go searching through lots of things. You want that readily available. So we actually just talked with our leadership team this morning about ensuring students know and parents know about the great mental health supports that are available in Buffalo Trail. We have different programs that are available. WOW in Wainwright, Vibe up north in our northern schools. We have social emotional coaches that are available in all of our schools, that during this time when students are at home will continue to connect with students. So there are supports available. Thank you for bringing that up.
Now, once we know more information, is the division prepared to go back to in-person learning after the winter break is over? And also, are they prepared to do online learning if things in Alberta continue to go the way that they do?
That is another really good question, because that has come across in all the school divisions in Alberta, that if a decision is made for January 11th, we'd really like our staff and our parents, our students, to be prepared in December. So we're looking to have the government make that announcement before students are on break. So to really watch those COVID numbers and the cases in the next little while to see if the guidelines and restrictions that we have in place now, if they do make an impact. And so with regards to your question, January 11th, our teachers are prepared to come back to school and welcome those kids. I know they will not have seen them for over a month, so that will be a great opportunity to reconnect and have those face-to-face conversations and discussions and learning again. But if our COVID numbers in Alberta, if those don't decrease like we're hoping with the new restrictions, our staff would be prepared to continue at-home learning and supporting our students in that method as well. We have done an extremely large amount of professional learning and support with our staff to ensure that they're confident in supporting students with at-home learning. And that doesn't actually always mean technology either. Our staff are preparing some maybe of the more traditional ways to learn at home as well. And there'll be novel studies going home, and there'll be resource packages going home, and students will have some of that traditional pen and paper. It doesn't mean that everything will be available online.
And lastly, Rayanne, is there anything else that you'd like to add on top of what we've already talked about?
I think one of the things that I need to mention is that no matter what seems to be thrown at us, our staff at Buffalo Trail are doing a phenomenal job to prepare on short notice to support our students. And our families have been extremely supportive as well. When we had to come back to school and all wear masks and follow the guidelines of the hand washing in and out of classroom and all of that, our families were extremely supportive, and our students are doing a great job of continuing learning with all the restrictions in place. So I'm very fortunate to be the superintendent in Buffalo Trail and working with an amazing staff and board of trustees who's really trying to support students and families and staff. So thank you.
Well, Rayanne, I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Progress is being made on the city's new fire hall, with council looking to hire a construction manager to lead the project. Eric Bay has more.
The fire hall will be built using the construction management method, where the construction manager will work with the design team to ensure the building meets the city's requirements. The process was seen as the most financially responsible option for the city.
We're trying to find the best structure for the taxpayer to get us the best possible buy for our dollar at the end of the day and get a very sound and complete facility. That's, in my mind, that's what we're after, because we want to build for longevity. We don't want to be building a new fire hall in 20 years.
This method is not new to the city, having used it on different projects in the past.
Construction management has proven effective in the city before for things like the operations center. And at the end of the day, I think Councillor Diachuk said it best. We're here to be good stewards of the community's finances and the community's money as we build a major project like a fire hall. It's our job to ask those tough questions, make sure that we're getting the answers, and make sure at the end of the day that we're getting the product that we need to have.
While the construction manager will lead procurement for Fire Hall 1's replacement, the city has the final say on decisions.
Working with the construction manager, working with the architect. I think that's the important steps to these processes. Unless you built a house, and I haven't built a house on my own, there's a lot of pieces to that. You're working with sub-trades and things like that. Construction management is a profession in itself. And certainly I think it's important to look to people that have that experience.
The city received 16 bids and is evaluating them on categories such as past experience and financial cost. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
Earlier today at St. Joseph Elementary School, to get into the holiday spirit, students were making Christmas cards for seniors in the community. The idea for the project was inspired by a post on Facebook, and this year Christmas will look a little different for seniors, and to help make sure they are in the holiday spirit, these cards were made.
There's more of a need this year because we all know what's happening with the virus. We don't want to focus on the negative. We want to focus on reminding the seniors that we do love them and we do care about them and we do pray for them.
Students were really enthusiastic about designing their own cards and giving back to the community in their own way.
Some kids were like, can I make 2 or 3 or 4? They all were excited and agreed with me. They wanted to put a smile on people's faces, especially during all of the restrictions that are being in place.
Yeah, it's actually really fun to know that there's some people that'll be smiling out there and that won't be down.
To make sure seniors feel the love from the community, multiple classes are also making cards.
I emailed my colleagues and I said, does anyone else want to do this with me? And they were all on board. We have grade 7s, we have grade 6s, we have grade 3s and 2s, and 4s are doing something different, and 1s are doing something for the military. So our school is really banding together with what we can do. Sometimes a little thing means a lot.
There's multiple drop-off locations for the cards, and they will be brought to seniors' homes in Lloydminster. Now our Connor Chan will take a look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. Looking right now, -9 is the current temperature that we're sitting at right now. We were, of course, did have a little bit more sun throughout the day, but of course, as the evening didn't come on, it is going to get a little bit cloudier right now. But right now, with that wind chill, it feels more so like -15. And we're going to be seeing some nice temperatures throughout the rest of the week, but we'll showcase that in just a bit here. -7 in Vermilion right now, also in Marwayne and Pierceland and Bonnyville. -2 out in Vegreville, 1 degree in Edmonton right now, with -4s in Lac La Biche, Wainwright, and Macklin. We also see -7 in North Battleford as well. -9 for Maidstone, -1 in St. Walburg right now, and then -8 in Meadow Lake. Now, as we take a look here at the satellite radar map, some activity, some snow could make its way into the Edmonton area. They are going to see a potential chance of some flurries there, and a little bit of that drift off could make its way here into the Lloydminster area. But of course, we did see some of that snow in the later parts of the evening last night. And of course, we did wake up with a little snow this morning, but nothing too extreme. But as we look at North Battleford, -9 overnight tonight, going into -1 tomorrow with mostly sun and a little bit of cloud coverage for them. We look into Cold Lake, same results, -7 for the daytime high in the evening tonight, and then -1 tomorrow with a little bit more cloud coverage, but still nice weather nonetheless. And then for us here in Lloydminster, some cloud coverage continuing into the evening, and then we'll still have that cloud coverage continuing into tomorrow, but we will have a daytime high there of -2, because we will see some nice temperatures throughout the weekend here. As we look on Saturday, we are going to potentially have some snow there, at a 51% chance of some of that snow coming to us. -5 is the daytime high, though, with a low there of -5. It could feel more like -15 for both Friday and on Saturday. And as we look into Sunday, the snow should stop, and we'll have some nice clearish skies and some temperatures at the -3 daytime high, with that low there of -10. Could feel more like -11, but still nice temperatures nonetheless. That is a look at your weather forecast for now. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. The Vermilion Chamber of Commerce is hosting a stationary parade on Friday. Jace Mackey has more on how people can take part safely.
Today I'm joined with Leah Marlene. She joins me from the Vermilion and District Chamber. Thanks for taking some time to talk with me today.
Oh, no problem.
So the topic of discussion today is a Christmas parade that's going to be taking place on Friday in Vermilion. Can you just tell me a little bit about the parade?
Yeah, so it's not a traditional parade this year with all of the COVID concerns and stuff like that in the area. So what we've decided to do is do a stationary parade or a reverse parade. So all of the parade floats from local businesses and organizations will be lined up on the south side of Railway Avenue in Vermilion on Friday. And then vehicles can drive by to view them. And we're just asking that they travel from west to east down Railway Avenue so that we just have one-way traffic and we don't end up with any sort of incidences that way.
And what time does this take place?
So viewing will start at 7 o'clock and it'll run until about 8 or 9. It'll just kind of depend on how many people are in the queue. We won't shut down until everybody has a chance to see it all.
So when the chamber went about organizing this, what was the reaction from businesses? How eager were they to take part?
I think that they're eager to take part. They were a little bit confused to begin with, but I think that now they're kind of starting to understand the concept and stuff like that. It's something new and stuff like that, and so we're just going to give it a whirl, see how it goes. We're just looking at ways to kind of just bring joy to the community and keep things as normal as we possibly can with COVID, but yeah.
And obviously a stationary parade aren't super common until this year. How important was it, though, for the Chamber to still put something on that will give the community something to smile about during this Christmas season?
It was really important to us. The holiday parade in Vermilion has been here for, I'm actually not sure how long. It's been here longer than I've been here, and it's definitely a tradition and people look forward to it. And so we didn't want to just cancel it for the year. We wanted to still make sure that it could run in some way. Last year, we added a lot of extra activities along Main Street with bonfires and s'mores and cookie decorating, stuff like that. And of course, we couldn't do all of that, but we still wanted to make sure that there was something for the community to enjoy.
So what kind of guidelines and safety practices are going to be in place to make sure that residents and also the people in the floats are kept safe?
So the people that have floats have been asked to either remain on their float or in their vehicle. They won't be handing out candy or anything like that. We're asking for no pedestrian traffic, just so that then we can make sure everybody's safe. Of course, everybody should be traveling the same way down Railway Avenue from west to east. If you start kind of at the Days Inn corner and head down towards the mall, that's the best way to do it. And then I will be at the end with the Chamber display, and I will be handing out candy bags to the first 150 vehicles that go through, as well as I'll have some coloring contest sheets for kids to pick up too.
All right, well, that's exciting. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up today?
I just wanted to add that Holidayopoli is still continuing right now in town, so they can check out all of the information for Holidayopoli on our website.
And if people are looking to get more information about the parade, are they also able to find that on the Chamber website?
Yeah, they can find it on the website and also on our social media channels.
All right, thank you so much, Leanne, for taking some time to talk with me today.
Great, thank you for having me.
Just one day after the Alberta government announced their restrictions, the government of Saskatchewan followed with similar guidelines when it comes to sports. New guidelines by the Saskatchewan government have all team or group sports suspended, including amateur and rec leagues. The SJHL said teams will not be playing from this Friday until after Christmas. For athletes 18 years old or younger, the government will allow groups of 8 or fewer to continue training or practicing.
All team sports are going to be paused until December the 17th. However, athletes under the age of 18 may continue practicing or training in groups of 8 or fewer. Mask use will be mandatory for all indoor fitness activities except for swimming. Both individual and group fitness activities continue to be permitted with mask use and at least 3 meters of distance between the participants.
Group fitness classes will remain open, but in groups of 8 or fewer, where social distancing and mask use must still be followed.
I'm speaking with Jacqueline Weed with Big Brothers Big Sisters. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Now, with more restrictions in place, what has changed for Big Brothers Big Sisters in needing mentors and volunteers?
We still have the need. We still need the mentors, to meet with the kids and to be matched. There's some different things that they can do. We're encouraging them to meet outside, do activities outside if they can. Obviously, they have to wear masks when they're together. But really, outside of that, nothing has changed. They're still able to meet in person if they're following the guidelines, and they, of course, can always meet virtually. In the office, we have the COVID rules in place, so we just encourage people to phone to schedule appointments. If they want to come into the office, or if they're just thinking of dropping by, just phone in to make sure that we can allow for social distancing and all that stuff. And of course, masks are mandatory as well.
And can you expand on what Giving Tuesday is all about that's coming up on December 1st?
Yeah, so Giving Tuesday is an annual thing that we take part in. And it's sort of a thing after, you have Black Friday and you have Cyber Monday, and it's really, those things are really tied into buying, and spending money. And so Giving Tuesday is the flip of that. It's give a donation to support our agency, give your time to become a mentor, or find out other ways that you could donate and help us out.
Has there been lots of support in previous years with it so far?
Yeah, we've tried different things. This year we're just, we're encouraging people on Giving Tuesday to check out our website and our Facebook page, and it'll have a link that'll take you directly to canadahelps.org if you want to make a donation, or it'll have our phone number and you can give us a call if you're wanting to get involved in other ways.
And for December, is there anything else planned for Big Brothers Big Sisters for the holidays, of course?
We have lots of things going on in December. So we have our co-op coupons, which people can purchase from us, or sorry, gift cards that people can purchase from us. We have increments of $25, $50, and $100. We have Panago coupons, which we are selling. So they pay $12 and they get a coupon for a free medium pizza. We're doing gift wrapping. So people just need to call the office, and for a donation, we'll wrap their gifts and tell them when they, see when they need them back by, and then they just come pick them up. So that's easy, right? You just drop them off and they're done for you. So that's kind of a nice way to take some of the stress out of Christmas. We have tax receipt appeal. So if people are wanting, to give something different, they could make a donation in someone's name and we'll issue a tax receipt for that person. So they can get some credit for it on their year-end taxes. We have the Angel Tree, which is a tree at Transition Health and Wellness, where we have ages of kids, their gender, and what they like, and people can purchase a gift to match that. The only thing at the clinic is that you need to phone in when you get there because they'll screen you for COVID precautions, and then you can go in and pick it up. The Wish Tree we also have at Home Hardware, and that's those little, you might have seen them, yellow stars, and they're the same concept as the Angel Tree. So you pick one off the tree at Home Hardware, purchase the gift, and drop it off there for them. So all of those gifts get brought to the agency, and then we wrap them and we give them to our families at Christmas time. And then lastly, we just, people can check out our website. We have a letter to Santa that we've written on our website with, just some things that would be nice to have at this time of year.
And I spoke about the Christmas food and toy drive with Chosen Breed MRC. How does it feel to have that support for donations from the community?
We have amazing support year round, but especially at Christmas time, our community steps up to our agency tenfold. We're so blessed to have so much support, and it's just fantastic what they're doing for us.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
Leaves fall to the ground with the most familiar sound. I can't stay awake, but I can't fall asleep.
I'm joined again by a familiar face here on Primetime Local News. We chatted with her about a month or so ago. Leah Marlene is joining us today. Leah, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us once again.
Thanks so much for having me again.
Now, we're excited, and you should be excited too. I guess you just released a new album, The Space Between. Congratulations on that, first of all. And tell me about it.
Yeah, so this album, I guess this is the first album I've released. I released an EP before, but it's 8 songs, and it's very much like my heart through and through. This album is like a part of my being. This is the first album that I produced. Almost every track. There's only one track that I didn't produce, which that's a whole new thing for me. That is super, super fun. And then the writing just comes from a very honest and vulnerable part of who I am. So this album is just completely me through and through. And it's really, really weird and cool to have it out in the world now. And yeah, I just really hope that it connects with a lot of people. And that's simply the heart of it, is to just wrap people with comfort and just company in whatever they're going through. So.
Now, I had the chance to listen to the songs on it, Leah. I have to say, it's amazing. The vocals are just stunning to listen to, really. And I have to know, you're doing online schooling, you're working with other people producing some of their stuff. How did you find the time to do this, and how long did it take to get this all together to where you wanted it to be?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I have to say that quarantine and COVID stuff have definitely been a prime factor in me being able to do this. quarantine is the whole reason that I started producing in the first place. I never had the space to do that before. And so I've been doing school from home this semester. Usually I'm in Nashville at Belmont University, but this semester I've been at home in Illinois. So there's a lot less noise when I'm just like in my house all day long, and I don't really like hang out with people or do anything else. So I just kind of do school, and then mostly this semester I just did all my schoolwork and then worked on the album with all my other time. And it definitely was stressful at points, but it was also like the process of this album has been such a healing process for me, and just like a very necessary personal pursuit for me. So as much as like there is a business part of it and like a pressure part of it, as soon as I set a deadline, it was like, I'm actually going to do this thing. It's also just like a really positive personal journey for me. So as far as time goes though, being home and not having all of the extracurriculars and stuff that I usually have was helpful. And yeah, I definitely scaled back on like my collaborations and stuff during the heat of the semester and working on this album. But it was for sure a time crunch. I learned a lot about that. Whenever you set a deadline, you always think that you're gonna have so much more time than you do, and you're gonna be able to meet it so much easier than you're able to. But we made it, so that's all that matters.
Now, did you have a whole group of songs, Leah, that you had to kind of cut down to decide for the album, or did you decide, no, I'm only going to write a certain amount of songs, and those are the ones that are gonna make it?
Yeah. That was a whole process. I've been writing for several years of songs that I haven't really recorded or thought about releasing. After my last EP, I just really wanted to get better as a writer and build up a catalog of songs that I was proud of. So I just like totally put recording anything on the back burner and didn't even want that to be a part of my view because I just wanted to get better at writing. So I have a lot of songs that I really enjoy now, and for several months, like I was like, how should I go about this? Like I think that I should like release something soon. I think it'd be nice to finally have something that actually represents me in my current state on my Spotify. Like I was really embarrassed of like everything that was out there. I just really wanted to put something that was current. So I went through a lot of things. I was going to do an album that was like just like a balance of like up-tempo songs and down-tempo, and just like pick like, or I could have just picked like my best songs and do like an EP of those, or whatever. But I decided this is like a sad songs album, if you couldn't tell. And I really felt like these were the songs that I needed to put out there before I could really say anything else honestly and genuinely, because this is like a huge part of who I am. And like oftentimes I'm super charismatic and bubbly and like smiley all the time, but like I'm a full human that feels a lot of things as well, and has gone through a lot of things. And so I really wanted like the full spectrum of my humanity to be a part of like the music that I share too. So that's kind of how I narrowed into this collection of songs. It's kind of like a concept album, kind of telling the story of like the past 2 years of my life. And so, yeah, there were a lot of different options that came down to it, but I just didn't feel right releasing anything before I had said the things that I needed to say, which is what this album is.
Well, Leah, congratulations once again. Like I said, it is just an amazing album, and I think it would be great in these times, especially people download, can just kind of relax, listen to the music. And if people want to do that, Leah, what is the best way to find all of your songs and music, not only from this album, but from the past as well?
Yeah, if you just look up Leah Marlene on any streaming platform or wherever you buy music or listen to music, you'll find the album there. It's called The Space Between, and you can find any of my past stuff by looking up Leah Marlene anywhere. Also, if you go to my website or my socials, again, typing in Leah Marlene, you can find anything you want from the websites and links that I have posted on those as well.
Well, thanks again, Leah, for joining us. Again, the album is fantastic. Congratulations on it. And we'll hope to talk to you again soon. And good luck with everything. I know this is a tough time, especially you can't go out and tour or anything. So I hope you can find other ways to promote this and get through this quarantine time as well. But congratulations once again, and thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.